Hello, this is lesson 9-9 on symmetry and reflections. In tonight's lesson, you're going to be able to identify a line of symmetry, and you're also going to be able to graph reflections of different geometric figures. So we're going to go ahead and get started by first talking about lines of symmetry. When we talk about symmetry, what we mean is that both sides, if they were reflected upon each other, is exact, or the mirror image of the other. For example, I have this T up here, and this line of symmetry, which divides the figure in half. So it divides that figure in that two pieces. So if you were to actually fold upon where that dotted line is, they would match up completely. Same with this hexagon over here. This is a line of symmetry for it, because if you folded it over, it would go along with it. And then, of course, a figure can have more than one line of symmetry. This T here does only have one, because if you tried to fold it like that, well, you're going to have the T crossed over and it wouldn't quite work. While this hexagon, there's a few different ways you can fold it. That was one way. You could also fold it here. You could also fold it right there for the third way. Then, of course, you could fold it right along this line and have 4. And keep going. And right here for 5. And really you could fold it right along here. Oh, that one was a little off. For 6. So this one actually has 6 different lines of symmetry. So now they want us to identify the lines of symmetry and tell how many there are. So let's do A to, well, I actually did A for you. And I found out there were 6, and I made them all in there for you. I'm not going to do it all again because you know I'm being a little lazy right now. But I want you to do B and C as well. So go ahead and make however many lines that make them match up completely. Then write how many there are below. So go ahead, pause me now. All right, let's get started, shall we? Well, I know there's one right down the middle. And I also could have one right there. Now, you might want to try it. I know sometimes people want to try the diagonals of it. But if you were to fold those over, the points wouldn't match up. So those are not lines of symmetry. So here, we only have 2. And then for this pentagon, this 5-sided figure, well, here is one. And then, if you tilt it, that would also be one. And then, right in there would also be one. Because again, if you folded it up, there should be 3 lines of symmetry. If you need to take a look, again, you could actually cut out a piece of paper and see that for yourself. And they'll show it to you. All right. So, that's the first part of your lesson. Now we're going to talk about how we graph reflections. And notice for you, there's going to be a coordinate plane in here. So you get to do more on graphing. Yay! Yeah, I can hear your cheers already. So when we talk about reflection, it's another type of transformation. We talked about transformations in 9-8. Again, it's just a change in size or change in position. So a reflection is a transformation that actually flips a figure over whatever line of reflection they give you. So it flips it over this line of symmetry. This line of reflection, as we call it here, is, again, that line that is flipped over. So we can go ahead and show you. Segment FG has endpoints -4, -2, and G -2, -4. Graph the segment FG and the image of segment FG after a reflection over the x-axis. So first thing to look at is they already graphed this one for us. So this is the segment. Now where I always start is I look and see where they want my line of reflection. And here they tell me the x-axis. So I'm going to go ahead and draw that in. This is the x-axis, and that's what I have to flip it over. Right? And then from here, you count how far away is each point from the x-axis, or that line of reflection. Then you just count the same amount on the other side. So F here is 1, 2 away. So the new part of it is going to be 2 over the opposite side on the same line. So 1, 2. This is where the new F is going to be. I do it the same for the G. Well, I start where G is and count how many it takes me to get to the x-axis. 1, 2, 3, 4. So on the other side, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's the image of G. And I'm done. Not so bad, is it? Alright, so here's this one. They give us a triangle this time. Graph the image of triangle ABC after reflection over the y-axis. So again, draw your y-axis. This is my reflection, line of reflection, and then you do each point. So C, it's 1, 2 away. So on my new one, C is going to be 2 away. Alright, and that's a little hard to read, so I'm going to put that in blue. So A, I do the same thing, 1, 2, 3. So A is now 1, 2, 3 away. And then B is 1, 2, 3, 4 away. So here it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 away. Would you look at that? Oops, and look, I missed a line. You should look at that. There we go. 1, 2, 3. We have our mirror image of it again. So now it's your turn. All right. It says we have that segment FG has endpoints -4, -2, and G is equal, or G coordinate -2, -4. First, you will have to graph segment FG, and then graph the image of it if it's reflected over y equals -1. So hint, I'm going to help you with this part. Y equals -1. Well, here's -1 on the y-axis. So this is going to be your line of symmetry. All right, so I gave you that. So your first job, graph the original segment FG, and graph the mirror image of it. So that's your job. Pause me and do it now. All right, so if I were to do this, first I do -4, -2, that is F. And then G is -2, -4. And there is my original. So now I have to do the mirror image of it. And my line of symmetry, well, F is only 1 away from it. So will the new 1B. And then G is 1, 2, 3 away. So 1, 2, 3. Connect them, and there's my image. That is what you should have. And that is your lesson for tonight. Tonight we talked about lines of symmetry and reflection on a coordinate plane. You have a fantastic night. I will see you in class tomorrow.